Hey, welcome to the Vacation Rental Life Show. This is Matt Ward and Derek Eaton, who is currently absentee because he's checking in a guest. This is what happens in the vacation rental life when you don't have a vacation rental life. You have a vacation rental hostage life. So what our goal is to try to get people to live the vacation rental life that they always wanted. And we are here at the Vacation Rental Life Roundtable this week, Tuesday, every night, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. I have no idea what time that is in Hawaii, but I'm sure John will chime in and tell us. It's probably like 7 a.m. in Hawaii. They're just eating eggs while we're eating steak. What
2
time is it?
p.m.
2 p.m. Okay, there we go. All right, so we got a small group tonight, and we're going to see if we can get to a listing review. But nonetheless, what I wanted to ask the question, because this came up this week with a client that I'm helping in the vacation rental world. So I want to talk about charging credit card fees and how you structure things, because I'm seeing it being done differently by different people that manage different properties. Now, when you deal with your own property, it's one thing because you're obviously absorbing the cost your entire self. But when you manage another person's property that is not your own, how do you figure out the credit card situation and who pays what? So if a guest is paying with a credit card, right? And as a manager, you're getting a percentage. Do you take the credit card? Do you take the total minus the credit card fee? Then you have what we'll call gross profit. And from there, you take your percentage off of that? Or do you take your percentage off the total number and then have the credit card fee come out of your pocket? Anybody?
I'll chime in.
Okay.
So for the most part, for the people that I manage for, so far, most of the bookings come through Airbnb or VRBO or Booking.com. So, and all the payment fees or all the fees for transferring the funds are kind of factored into whatever the guest is paying, to the platforms. And then from there, whatever the payout ends up being, back into the bank account, I guess. So
So you're
the
not
gross
taking
payout.
direct bookings for any of the properties you're managing?
I haven't gotten
Because
direct
that's where this
bookings.
comes in, right? Is when
Right.
you have a credit card process. So Boyd, you're doing this? What are you doing?
I'm deducting the fees off the gross and then charging the owner the percentage. So it would just be the same as if I get an Airbnb listing and they had pre-deducted it. I show it on there on his owner statement. He'll see it, and I'll just put credit card fees so much, and that comes off. And then
have you ever had anybody complain about it?
No, but we're just getting into it too. So I mean, we're still 6 months into doing private bookings. Probably, I haven't had enough of them for the right owners to complain, but I would have a couple that would test the waters to try. But it's money in, money out. That money never really came in. It was taken off before it ever reached my door.
Yeah, I've never understood the property owner who says that the manager is responsible for the credit cards, because whether the manager was there or they did it themselves, they would still have to pay the credit card fee. So I don't.
Right.
That shouldn't be. I mean, the manager shouldn't get their percentage if they're getting 25%. They shouldn't get 25% of the credit cards either, right? The credit card fee either.
No, I'm taking that off as just like it never came in, but I'm showing the transaction, so it's transparent.
Right.
Apparently, I'm just mean because I take the gross and take my commission off, and then I have the expenses like the maid and the credit card fees come out after that. Yeah.
So you get paid You get paid on the total dollars of the actual rental, and then you subtract the credit card fees off of that.
Right. But I don't get paid on the maid.
Well, that's interesting because you have to manage them, the cleaning. You have to manage them, but not the credit card so much. Yeah.
Right, but I don't consider that part of the rental. So I don't know.
Oh, but in your state, is it taxed? Because it's taxed in my state.
Maids are not taxed, I don't think.
Yeah, so cleaning fees are taxed in Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, anything that my understanding, and maybe it's different state by state, but anything that a guest has to pay for in order to book is supposed to get taxed.
Taxable.
Yeah. Okay.
And anything that's optional may or may not be taxable. That's my understanding of it.
Right, because if they do it through HomeAway or Airbnb, that's probably going to be taxed. Right.
I will have to look at that. That's,
So you're not getting, Linda, Karen, you never get any pushback on the fact that you charged 25% of the credit card fee?
Mm-mm.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, but the credit card fee isn't the big charge.
No, it's only 3%, right?
Right.
So you're only getting 25% of 3%.
Mm-hmm.
So Derek, we'll fill you in. Just talking about the credit card thing that we were talking about earlier today.
Okay.
And just in general, so Karen charges the gross. No, on the gross, she charges her percentage on the gross.
Okay.
And then deducts everything after her percentage is taken.
Okay.
Where other people take the gross minus the credit card, then charge their fee.
Yep.
For that.
Mm-hmm.
John hasn't had to do it because he just runs everything through the platforms.
Yep.
Boy just started doing it through taking direct booking credit cards. So
yeah.
Well, how do you do it?
So I take my commission after. So I remove taxes and the credit card fees, and then take my commission from that, and then charge.
So you remove taxes and the credit card fees.
Yeah, I shouldn't make commission on taxes, in my opinion.
Interesting.
Like, my theory, and this is what I talked with Adriana about.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, but that kind of concept was that the way I look at it is that I should get paid a percentage of anything that the owner could potentially make if they were self-managing. And so they're not going to make the credit card fee if they were managing. They wouldn't make money on the taxes if they were managing. So I should make it net of those things and charge my commission on that. That's my theory, and that's how I sell it when I'm talking.
That's interesting, but one could argue that if you were a good property manager, then all of the pricing comes into play when the booking is attempting to be made by the guest. And so if you're managing the pricing correctly, because I don't think the guest looks at the per night rate. They look at the end dollar rate. They look at how much the listing sites are charging them and everything combined. They want to know what their outlay is going to be. So if you're managing the property pricing wise correctly, somewhat to what we talked about last week, then maybe you should get paid on the gross.
Well, from that argument, then should I make commission on Airbnb's fees too?
You should. Oh, but they take it out. That's a good one.
So Derek, do you pay the taxes? Are you responsible for remitting them?
Yeah, I'm remitting them when the platforms don't.
Right. So in my state, the platforms, specifically in my county, the platforms take the 11%. So if it's
I thought we were talking non-platform.
But so non-platform, I pay it, and I use Avalara to pay it. MyLodgeTax.com. So even once they changed to the platforms where the platform started to take it, I still kept the service. I paid $20 a month, and most of the times I just don't. If I don't have any direct bookings, I just don't file anything. I file a 0, but I'll pay it that way if I took a direct.
But that would. I would think you deserve a commission on the sales tax if you're remitting it.
Yeah, you're responsible for it. You're
Yeah, you're
owning
managing
it.
it.
Yeah, I mean, it you can make the argument either way. It's just how I've gone about selling it. Selling my other fees is
What other fees?
so the way that I handle cleaning fees, for example, I share in the revenue on that, and then I charge them the cost. So the if the cleaning fee is $115, real cost is $65. I'm making my 35% on that 115 because my argument is that is a revenue lever that I'm responsible for. So I should make commission on it. So yeah, so I mean I guess it comes down to how you want to sell it. I mean, there's really no wrong way. I'm not trying to pitch one way or the other. If you can get away with making it on the full amount, including tax and everything, more power to you.
I
But
think
I'm also doing a 35% commission model, which a lot of people say high, but I'm taking my 35% further down the statement. So
right.
So depending on my 35% could be the same as someone's 20%, depending on how many fees and taxes and everything else.
No, that's a good point.
That's a good way to start.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you're up at 35, you can come down a little bit. All right, come down, but then we're going to go up here on this one.
Yeah.
Derek, don't you run into issues where people just look at that number and say, wow, it's 35. The other guy was 25. Like, no.
I deal with that by when they have that comment. I'm like, well, let's look at the bottom line of what's their prospectus. How much money are they going to put in your pocket every month? And I typically beat them on that. So, I have my background in commercial finance gave me a lot of tools on how to talk people about rate, because I would sell, sometimes it sounds ridiculous, but I would sell expensive financing that was legitimately like 45% annual APR. But in the products that I was doing, there is no true APR. So when people ask me what's the rate, I was really good at getting around that talk and talking to them, what's the utility of this product that you're buying? Like if you're buying a backhoe and you have $1 million contract, if you don't have that backhoe, you can't fulfill that contract. 45% money doesn't matter, because you're gonna make a great ROI on that. So
from a vacation rental standpoint, you're talking to these people about, you're showing them the possible revenue that they could be making even after they pay you, and comparing that to what they've been presented by somebody else.
Yep. Because that's what I asked them. Like, does it really matter what I charge if I bring you more money every month than the other guy? And their answer is no. Like, that's ultimately what they care about. So, okay, so let's put that aside. Let's not talk about rate. Let's look at the bottom line. What kind of revenue am I going to drive? And what kind of revenue are they going to drive? Because the reality is, because of this exact conversation of different companies charging their percentage differently, one of my favorite things is there's a video out there with Scott Brion of Vacasa bragging, I think it was at Skift, about how Vacasa was on pace to do $1 billion in bookings and make 500,000 in revenue. And I use that to my advantage when selling against Vacasa and saying, I'm not a rocket scientist, I'm not a mathematician, but if you're making 500,000 in revenue on $1 billion in bookings, that tells me that your take rate's about 50%. So I don't care what the sales rep is telling you is their rate. At the end of the day, what you are taking away versus what they're taking away is about 50% if that's their numbers. How are they getting there? They're charging a pet fee and not sharing that with you. They may be charging a booking fee and not sharing that with you. They may be charging a damage waiver and not sharing that with you. They may be charging you a marketing fee that's on top of the rental rate and not sharing that with you. So there's all these different levers where, if you really want to get apples to apples, all that really matters is how much money is the owner going to walk away with? So who really cares about rate? Because really rate is not, it's not an apples to apples comparison.
I get that, but as an initial, you're basically, you know, there might be people that you're not even having the conversation with because they see 35%, and they're just saying, "Oh,
No, he doesn't publish. He's not publishing 35%. You don't put that on your website.
No,
so until you have the
Which-
conversation and you build all the value, you talk about the pain points. Why are they looking to switch? What are they looking to achieve? What's their expectation on revenue?
Right.
Well, that is how you get into the conversation. See, most people always lead with their price before they have dealt with the pain point around the issue. You know, and unfortunately, even when we think about this from a vacation rental owner standpoint, it's really hard to do that, right? If you're dealing with a listing site, you don't have a conversation. However, where it really comes into play is direct bookings. Because when you have those conversations with people, you're always asking them, what are you coming to town for? What do you want to do? What are you looking to do? How can I help you? How can I direct you in the right place? You're providing all of that before you give them a price, because you're looking for fit, right? And so once you look for and you find the right fit, they're not even going to call anybody else because they know that you're that right provider. And that's in any business that you're in at all, you know? So.
Well, at the same time, though, Vacasa or Evolve, they lead with 10% or, you know, whatever crazy number that they come up with. So that's how they lead. And so that's essentially what you're, you know, you have to be able to dispel and say, hey, they're 10%. You're getting a lot less than my 35%.
I mean, what I do is I tell them that 10% is not that's not a comparable 10% to my 35%. And I actually wrote a blog at one point. I'd have to dig it up, where it took on that exact thing, where it was like, when can 35% be actually less than 25%? And I went through an example of Turnkeys contract and showed where all the different fees that they charge before they're split, and where they were making the extra money. And it, you know, it showed that their take rate in my example was like ended up being 38% compared to my 35.
Keep in mind that when Derek shows that comparison, he often shows that owner that Turnkey is charging a listing fee.
Yeah.
So that assumes that the owner can now charge that fee because the guest was paying that fee anyway. So call it $50. Now, instead of Derek charging $950 for this one property, he could charge $1,000, because even though it shows $950 on the other side, Turnkey's getting $50 in the listing fee, and the guest was willing to pay it.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about that is Turnkey's business model. If that's how they're making a lot of their money, they really don't care what the property is doing, as long as someone just comes in, because they're charging all these things above and beyond your rate.
Exactly.
And Matt, I was just telling you, I picked up a couple properties in Florida. You know, this person was with Evolve, and she just about had it. And so, you know, I'm taking that over, and I can guarantee you that I'm providing a lot better service, and she's getting more money in her pocket, you know, through that.
Well, so. And look, from a manager standpoint, it's again, you think of it from an owner's perspective for a second, right? Mm-hmm. If an owner calls and you look at the comparison, well, why are you charging me $1,000 a night when that one over there is charging me $800 a night? Okay, well, we have an indoor heated pool here, and they have no pool. You just showed them the difference, right? And I think that's the key, whether you're an owner or whether you're a manager. It's about having the conversations to really understand just what you're talking about. When you get a phone call, but the first question the first question you're asking is, why are you having problems with Evolve? Why are you looking to leave? It's not so much, okay, give me the street address of your property so I can run comps, right? You want to know, what are the problems? Because maybe you can't solve them. Maybe their answer was, I need a manager right here. And then you would have been like, whoa, that's not me. you know? So this goes back, if you guys remember 3-4 weeks ago, and we're talking about COVID and cancellations and all that other stuff. And what was the whole through line of the entire conversation was to have conversations with people. Right. And I think that's what's happening with this, whether it be the credit card thing, the management fee, even these direct bookings. We find anytime we have a conversation with a booking, whether it was a listing site booking or a direct booking, it's always a much smoother conversation or in guest experience with us all the time. It's when they come in quick, they disappear right away. You send them a couple of texts a day or two later. Hey, how are things going? You never hear back from them. And they check out, and it was like the worst experience in the world. Like the beach didn't have any sand on it, and you're supposed to control that, you know. I had to wear a mask.
That's a real thing in Hawaii.
I had to wear a mask in town.
Yeah.
What's that got to do with me, you know? So cool. Well, yeah, I'm glad we had that conversation. I mean, I think it just gets people really thinking about how they want to run, you know, their business and whatnot. So
yeah, there's really no wrong way to do it other than if you're not charging enough to be profitable. I mean, that at the end of the day, that's all that matters. And it doesn't matter where you take your percentage. Just are you making enough to make a healthy profit so that you can be a successful business? So, you know, at the end of the day, that's the only thing that matters.
Let's move on. Derek, you got another piece of news in the industry?
You hear everyone hear about Sonder being successful at getting another fat round of funding. I think I heard it was to the tune of 200 million or something. Crazy, but yeah. So that's one little tidbit.
So Lyric is on the lifeline, but Saunders is raising capital.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. Well, and Lyric's founder, I believe, left as well. So that's not necessarily a good sign. But I mean, so did all the founders of Picasa before the board basically took over the leadership roles. So, so there could be something going on there where Lyric ends up having a board member get appointed by, or a CEO appointed by the board.
Do you think Sonder could start to grow and buy one of these companies you're talking about?
Yeah, they might, or they might just be the only one left. Maybe they don't double in size or triple in size, but they survive and everyone else kind of falls away and they become the brand that makes it.
Yeah, it's a first mover advantage and king of the hill strategy. Like right now, the entire playing field's kind of been reset. A lot of smaller players, medium-sized players have kind of fallen by the wayside. And a lot of the larger companies, especially for those that didn't lay off early enough, they got hit really, really hard by this. And so Saunders raised a crap ton of money to be able to ensure that they can be better positioned based off of the resurgence of travel. Like they want to make sure that they can grow and scale while at the same time maintain facilities. Like it's kind of weird. They're doing a very, very lean approach to where they did a large amount of layoffs and they also did a hiring freeze, but they're distributing different employees in different cities in order to ensure that they can kind of spread and scale.
Didn't they give up a bunch of their leases too?
Yeah. It's all about surviving. Yeah. And the more geos, the more seeds that they plant, when travel comes back, the harder they're going to grow, the more likely that they are to scale.
You know, I wouldn't stay at a Sonder property because Derek's going to love this. It didn't have cable. It had YouTube TV. And he's a big believer in that, but I would not stay at the property because of it.
What's your issue with YouTube TV?
Actually, the way they described it, it was internet TV.
I don't know who Sonder is.
They're a large lease arbitrage model. So city-based condo, hotel, apartment, hotel style.
Maybe they're not here. I've never heard of them, but I know the arbitrage.
In Colorado? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might be
Yeah.
in Denver. I wouldn't be surprised if they're in Denver, but they might not because of the regulatory issues there. So they may have skipped Denver and
Where I was looking was Phoenix. They're very popular in Phoenix. They had many, many buildings. In fact,
Denver, you have to be an owner occupy in order to do short term.
yeah, but they get around that by being a hotel. They get hotel licenses sometimes.
I don't know that they can in Denver. They have to rent like the upstairs and then live in the basement. They have to find a tenant to
Well,
live
but what I'm saying is our hotels are legal in Denver, right?
in.
So if they get a hotel license, what can they?
because all of these are basically rooms, they're just large rooms.
Yeah, they're large
studios.
rooms with kitchens. So unless it's illegal to have a kitchen in a hotel, which it
Hotel.
isn't, it's just logistically, it's hard, which is why traditionally they haven't done that.
Okay.
But
So
certain
like
geos, they
Y
will.
Hotel is right across the street from where I'm sitting right now, and that model isn't allowed in theory in Seattle because one owner, similar to Denver, one owner, one property kind of thing. You don't have to live there, but one owner, one property. Well, they got a hotel license. They rented out 3 floors of an apartment building and called it a hotel, and
Oh,
there they are. So
unbelievable.
there's
How come we didn't do
no
that?
difference from what I was doing with arbitrage, but I didn't get a hotel license. So
You didn't
They
have
did.
enough lobbyists. Huh.
And
All right, cool. Do we have a listing review today?
We can pull the people here if we want to grab one from somebody. We did John's last week. Karen, you want us to?
We
Take a
looked
look
at Karen's for
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Because her-
got my professional pictures. I
yeah,
found a photographer, but
you got the. That's right.
and
still
her,
waiting for my landscape.
Progress.
yeah, I
Progress.
was gonna say her community is under development. Yeah.
I got brand new pictures on mine. Let her rip.
Yeah.
Tear it up. Tear it up.
You
You started
wanna
on it
put it-
last week.
want to put it in the chat? Your listing.
You got it, don't you, Matt? From 2 weeks ago or no?
What, you think I
Show
just
me how to
know-
do it.
Boy, go to your
Yeah.
Airbnb listing site and then copy paste.
Yep.
I
What do I
forgot
need to
that.
do here?
I forgot to tell you guys I bookmarked all of Boyd Kunkel's properties.
Yeah. You
Thank
wish
you.
list. You wish listed them, didn't you?
You wish listed me.
You guys know we have a wish list in the Vacation Rental Life group, right, on Facebook. And if you put your link in there, other people will go and wish list it, and it increases your rankings.
Did Matt, since I was late on, did you tell everybody about?
I did not.
Oh, so people will have to wait to the end to hear who our special guest will be on Thursday.
That's right. If they haven't, did you send it? You didn't send the email out yet.
No, I did.
Oh, you did. Then they probably saw it. Yeah.
Yeah, Dirk Johnson.
Yeah.
Really?
Sorry, I read my emails all the time.
I did too.
Good. Good.
Dirk's actually incredibly knowledgeable. He's a really, really nice and earnest guy. I've only chatted with him like 2 times because he's like really, really south of Washington, like close to Portland.
Yeah. Camus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's when he's there.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, he travels more than I do as a professional
Yep.
speaker.
Yep.
Yeah. Actually, I referred him to another person in the long-term rental business a while back, and he wrote an article for her brand new magazine that she published this month. 2 people I referred to her. Yeah. So this woman wrote a book called "Close the Back Door," which is fantastic. It's long-term rental strategies on how to not lose tenants.
Okay.
But they're all like 95% of them are applicable in the short-term market as well. And so you just look at it and you say, okay, well, this is the long-term. So one example is she says, well, how does our building of apartments compete with the next building down the street when we don't have a fitness center and they do? Well, you build a relationship with a fitness center in town. and you work this, you know, and so that's just one example. And so I thought, well, short-term rentals, we don't have a fitness facility here, but let's Planet Fitness up the street, you know, or whatever, right? There's different things you can do. And it was just such a great book. And two people, one an HR person and then Dirk, I referred to her and they ended up publishing them in the magazine.
Is it Elaine Simpson?
Yeah.
Got it.
Elaine Simpson, yeah. Derek, the link is in the chat.
Yep. All right.
Go ahead, share it up.
Oh, you have to let me know.
I did though. Oh no, I didn't. Go ahead.
All right. Boom. Large home with character.
Look at that dog.
Must be pet friendly.
Must be.
104 a night.
Out of curiosity, how many of you allow pets? Like I've actually always. Okay.
All right.
See, so there was an article recently that if you want to increase your bookings, allow pets.
Yeah.
I think
Because so many people, especially now with COVID, so many people are not flying, they're driving, and they're bringing their dogs.
Yeah.
I think 50% of my reviews commented on the dog bowls
Yeah, we have dog bowls
and
right here.
made messages about their dogs.
So we have dog bowls, we have dog toys, and we have dog treats in the house. And we get bookings all the time. Now, we don't have carpet on the floors, right? We have tile and hardwoods. But it eliminates from being an issue.
So you all do?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't, only because of my insurance. I haven't been able to get insured in Washington State because we're a first bite state, meaning that if as a property manager, if a dog stayed with me and bit a neighbor, I would be liable for that, as would the property owner.
Oh, that's crazy.
I haven't been able to find a way around that up to this point. But if it wasn't for that, I would be happy to. Although most of my properties do have carpet, which doesn't make it.
I do feel like you have to clean the carpets more when you have. All right, what do we got here, Derek? Let me see.
I definitely appreciate the lighting and the professional.
Wow, that's amazing, Boyd.
Yeah.
Like that's a 120% improvement over the last.
I know,
time.
that's what I said.
Yeah.
I didn't know how bad mine were until I seen hers.
Yep.
Pictures.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's drastic improvement for sure. Makes me want to go to Kokomo.
Come on.
Oh, that's a review.
Oh, just one thing I noticed there. I could tell that this was an image.
Oh yeah, dude,
picked
you
up.
stole that image.
Yeah, you have a
I paid
watermark
for it.
right on it.
Oh, take the
paid for it.
watermark off. That's the watermark version of the photo.
Yep.
You got to download the correct one if you paid for it.
And also be careful when it comes to images. Even if you're purchasing it, make sure you read through the terms, because you want to make sure that you can use it for commercial use. Otherwise, like even if you paid for the rights of the photo without a commercial use license, it's void.
The best site to get free copyright images for commercial use is Unsplash.
Unsplash.
Yeah, they're all free. But here's what you do. That's a real thing. That's a real dog and a real testimonial. I recommend you email the client.
Yeah.
And ask them for sending you a photo.
A
You'd love
picture
to
of
put
their
it on your
dog?
phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just tell them, can you take it outside in the yard and then just boom, put it right there.
Yeah, that wouldn't be hard to do. They all got dogs.
Or if you can't do that, if they don't respond or whatever, get a friend that has a dog and
Take a picture of it.
Yeah, a cute dog. Yep.
All right.
I gotta tell you, Boyd, a couple weeks ago, I was not booking your place. I'm booking your place now. Like
So
that's the
Big
game
difference,
changer.
huh?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
is this one image that you slid in there that you took versus the?
It may be. It doesn't look like her lighting.
Yeah. Yeah. I would guess that that's the case.
And I have added a patio table and a gas grill since that drone shot.
You might want to
Add
see,
that.
yeah, add that or see if she might be able to
Reshoot it.
Well, or
put
just
it in there.
just
For
Photoshop.
Yeah, Photoshop.
you can take a picture as a vignette of the grill all set up. And then it doesn't have to be, you know, the correct lighting and everything, but it gets the point across.
Yeah.
You're talking about the vignette setting on your phone?
No, I'm talking about a setting with, you know, the table has plates on it.
Oh, gotcha. Staged, yep.
Yeah. But, you know, do the grill with food on it or cutting board next to it and a knife.
Sure. Yeah. 2 days in, I think I put it there Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Yeah, this is such a great improvement, Boyd.
Yeah, I've been well pleased with her.
Yep.
She's shooting them every week until we get them all done.
Yep.
Okay, so just a couple things though, Boyd, is what you learned from the first couple shoots, communicate to her for the additional shoots that you're doing. So if you feel like she didn't take a couple angled photos that you would have liked, make sure you just tell her that so when she goes and does another job for you, she can get those angles.
The one I didn't like on this is of the sitting room. She got that yellow house next door through the window. And
I saw
I wasn't
that.
too crazy about that.
But the
That
other
kinda
tree
was-
looks great and green. The other window.
That one. Yeah. It's like, oh man, I need to paint that house. Because we just acquired the one next door, so
Oh, you did?
Oh, there you go.
it's next on the list.
Well, you could stand out there with a fake Christmas tree.
Oh my God,
There
you
you
should
go.
do that Tim Allen thing where you're like the guy with the over the fence.
Also,
Mr. Wilson, right?
Yeah.
I was going to say another weird pro tip that we've seen a lot of success with is in the kitchens when you actually take a photo with all of the cabinets open. It's weird, mainly because it gives your guests the idea of what's inside all the cabinets. That way they know what to bring or what not to bring, especially for people that cook. It can be very, very helpful. And the same thing could go for bathrooms as well. Like we provide like a suite of things for a good portion of the guests that we service. And so by them getting a direct photo of what is available within the suite, it helps them know what to expect and best prepare.
I'm seeing fewer and fewer bathrooms being shot too.
Kwame, I had really good success with that. People really like to see that the cabinets were full of dishes that match each other and cooking utensils and that sort of thing. And I just stood on a chair and did an aerial shot of the kitchen.
That's a good idea.
We had a discussion about that, showing the amenities in the cabinets.
I'd put a piece of art or something up there behind your bed. Just
Give us some more color.
Yeah, just get a pop.
That is a little lacking there.
Yeah, like especially like if you could find something with blue or green.
She didn't take this photo either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, is a chair on top of a coffee table? Or is that that's just a weird angle.
Yeah.
It's just a weird angle. I've had to look at it. That's the tray on the coffee table.
Yeah, gotcha.
Got it.
And I've looked at it 3 times myself and I go, what?
I would put some faux plants maybe just to soften it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Agree.
Yep.
The other twin bed normally goes in there, but people want to move it to the sitting room for privacy. So It's kind of an optional
brand new
move.
air conditioning system, huh?
Yep.
Brand new.
Brand new. Boyd, you're supposed
sir.
to take the yellow sticker off the air conditioning.
Yeah.
I actually personally would leave it on because all of you
Shows them it's
immediately
brand new.
clicked, immediately clicked and realized that's a brand new air conditioner. So I don't have to worry
Which
about
is
it being too
fantastic.
hot.
So leave it there for 2 years and let's see
Yeah.
if they still think it's brand new.
Yeah.
We
Five
love the
years.
the mini splits actually work better than the
Yeah.
central air,
Mhm.
and the people can adjust their own bedroom.
Yep.
We bought separate heads for each one. Is $650 a piece.
Wait,
that's the best thing in the world.
that piece is $650. That's it?
With the outside condenser, yes. We ordered them online, installed them. They're click and pull.
No
Put them in
way.
each bedroom. It's cheap.
How did you install them? Did you have to pipe it and everything?
Well, yeah, you got to run the line. You got to top them off with a little Freon.
It works well
Not too
enough
bad.
for heat in the winter.
Yeah, it's supplemental heat in the winter.
Okay.
We have forced air downstairs, and the forced air goes up, so it's supplemental. But in the summer, it's everything for the AC upstairs.
Yep.
And even the guys on the one level houses, I talked to 2 guests last night. The one guy likes it, 68, and the other one likes it 58. They
Yeah.
can do their own thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get 2 of those and put one on each side of the bedroom. And turn mine on heat.
Stairs. Yep. That's all the pictures. So good work on the pro photos.
And he raised his pricing. He's getting a higher rate now,
Yep.
Derek, he said.
I got my first booking through VRBO this afternoon.
There you go.
Just a little over $100 a night.
Good deal.
I'd like to get it up just a little more, but we're good.
I mean, you're sold out. Looks like you're sold out the rest of this month. And
Yeah.
we got the first part of August already sold. So you might
Correct.
need to raise your rents a little bit more even.
Yeah, I'm creeping them up.
Yeah.
That
Well,
was
I
our
mean,
plan going into spring, was to creep them up from the fall.
yeah.
We had
I
to
mean,
change that scenario
Yeah,
a
I mean,
little.
especially with the amount of beds that you set up and everything, like there's nothing comparable, like
Not in Kokomo.
someone would have to get 4 hotel rooms to compare to how many beds and like the different setups, as far as
Now on the,
Hey, boy, do
Go
you
ahead.
charge extra per person at a certain point?
I think when we discussed last time, we went over the theory of not having the extra person charge, just the higher rate. And I'm trying that on this house because it has so many options. So I'm trying to creep my rate up and not charge for extra people, thinking I won't get, the folks booking ahead for 1 or 2. I'll
Yeah, because
get the
remember when
larger
Derek was
groups.
doing the search for 6 people, right? This
Yeah.
this does 5 or 6?
this
This
one
is
does
about the only one that came up.
6.
6,
Yeah, this one
yes.
does 6. Yeah, this is the only property in within a 10-mile radius, I think, even if it or
20 probably.
Derek, check
What's
the 3rd week in August for 6 guests.
One strategy that I would, you should try is if you have a lot of competition at like 4 bedrooms or whatnot, price it, keep raising your price, but price it high, and then add additional for larger groups. And that way you stay competitive with your smaller size set of properties, but you can also charge more as for large groups that can't fit in a 4-bedroom house or 4-bed house.
I don't disagree, John, when there's a lot of inventory, but I think what we found when we ran through Kokomo, there was just so few inventory. Like we're talking about a data set of 10 total units in the area. So
Right, okay.
So it made it so that, his unique fact, and pretty much all of them were small units. Like everybody else were 1 to 4 sleeps, and he's one of the few that sleeps 6. So with that, like why play in the kiddie pool when you got the biggest? Was kind of the theory that I was working from anyway. And
All right, cool.
rare find, so That's good. Yeah, so I mean, you have your 99 a night for the third week in August. I'd say try up in those rates.
Up in those rates.
But yeah.
The only thing the other property we did, I think we nailed the experience a little better. We had a checkerboard out on the porch.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Matt. I think you commented on that.
It's in
one of
comments.
my other listings.
Yeah.
I thought we nailed it a little better, and I had a discussion with the photographer about that, about capturing the experience as much as we're photographing the house.
Yeah.
And
so
trying to move in that direction.
The couple of things that I'd say photo-wise that you could do is you talked about here Wi-Fi provided at 100 megabytes per second. Take a shot of your actual speed test and throw that in there.
I've seen that on listings.
Yeah. Especially since you're catering to people that are coming for work, and then get some B-roll of the downtown businesses that you can walk to, and add that to your listing too.
Hey, since we're here, you want to look at the guidebook and tell me what your guys' thoughts on doing that are? Or do you even see, is it even on the listing at this point?
Let's see more about this location.
Because I was working on that this week as well.
More places to say. I'm not seeing more about
is that
this
a big thing for when you guys are doing your
guidebook?
When you're putting your package together? Is that a big feature for what you promote?
We have a guidebook that we did in Canva and printed off at Staples and put it right here on the ottoman, and people love it. But that's what we did. We didn't do a digital one.
Why not do both?
Because I don't feel like it.
I printed it off for one house. That is what I've been doing with my guests is after they book and right before they're booking, I say, hey, if you send me your email, I can send you some hot spots to town or direct you in the interest you want to go, and they'll send me their email and I got it. And
yeah.
I sent them a link to this.
I mean, doing the guidebooks, if you have time, I think there's nothing wrong with doing them. It just user experience wise, it does take, you have to look for it, you have to show more.
That's why he's sending it to them.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, but
that was my way to get their email.
Yeah.
Plus help them out.
Yeah. No, that's a good way to do it.
I think you guys suggested that too, didn't you? Tell them you'll give them something if you send them their email.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought that they couldn't send you their email.
Well,
I've been getting them through Airbnb.
Well, that's new as of this past week.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was told somebody that today. I said, I've been getting guest emails through Airbnb now.
Yeah.
And it shocked me.
Yeah. No, they want, I think their goal is by August 1st, they say, to make that not a thing anymore, but
they just started it, didn't they?
Well, they announced
they used to block it.
They announced it ahead of I think what I'm guessing is that as of August 1st, they might hide
Nix
emails in the chat. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, no,
So
I mean this is
something I do because there's one road to get up to the ski areas where I am. Is if people want to check in early, I say, well, I'm sorry, I can't help you with that, but here is a list exit by exit of every destination that you could stop at. If you want to go zip lining, if you want to go gold panning, just to keep them entertained so they don't feel bad that they can't get into the house early. And then I have just all of the different activities that you can do in the area. That's just the word. And then, you can look it up because the links change and the companies change who provide the services.
What's gold panning?
I'm sorry?
What's gold panning? I've never heard of that before.
Really?
Oh, well,
Yeah.
the gold rush in California.
Yeah,
Take a
just
pan
you know,
and shake it
literally
and get the
Got
little
it.
gold in the
Like,
bottom of the pan.
It's a
watch
tour.
Got it.
It's
watch
tourist
the
crap.
Discovery Channel or Nat Geo. They have a show
Ladies
on.
and gentlemen, Kwame doesn't get out much.
Yeah.
Hey, I wouldn't say that. I grew up on the East Coast, so completely missed like all
Never
of the.
experienced gold panning as a child.
But
No.
it just gives them some ideas of things that they can do further research on and find who's the latest and greatest provider.
Yeah.
Well, I just learned something new, so I'm
Can you
happy that
send-
was my new thing for the day.
Karen, could you send Kwame some gold panning links?
Yeah.
Here you go.
Exactly.
So
No.
speaking of checking in early, do you ever text your guests automatically and say, hey, you're welcome to check in an hour early because you plan it that way to get
Yep.
them on your side or be giving to them? Because I've heard theories that almost needs to be a standard, is to offer that hour early check-in. So your check-in time's 2 o'clock, but it's posted as 3 o'clock. So you always text the guests and say, hey, you're welcome to come on in an hour early. It's all ready for you or whatnot. And that promotes cohesiveness with your guest, more likely to get better reviews and a more cooperative guest because you're the first one to give, or some psychology like that I've heard proposed.
Yeah. I mean, there's
Does
nothing.
anybody
wrong
else
with that.
buy into that?
I do it all the
Do that
time.
as a rule? You
Yeah.
do it a lot?
Yep.
I also provide the grocery store pickup service so they can order their groceries on their car ride here and just
Mhm.
pick them up instead of the first thing they have to do is go grocery shopping.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Hotline number? Like
Soon
Walmart
Walmart's
or
going to
Kroger's.
actually deliver them into your fridge.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's stores around here will just meet you in the parking lot and bring it out and put it in your car.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
that's what we do.
And our food delivery man is also the weed salesman, so they get hooked
That's
up pretty good.
convenient. You can take care of your munchies and the weed at the same time. Is that what you're saying?
Yep. They just overcharge. I've had guests complain. So I don't know what to tell you guys.
Overcharge.
You want to hear the story of the week?
I'm not. No, I'm not
Okay.
convinced we want. I'm not convinced we want to go down that path.
No, it's not that bad. I'll let you edit it first. I'll share it next week if you approve.
We're at the top of the hour anyway. It's probably time to wrap up right before.
You gotta be sorry. You
Right
told me
before
how
we
to
send this
unmute
down a
myself.
slippery slope. Yeah. Oh boy. So we need more people with more listings to post in the Facebook group.
Yep.
And if you guys have people to invite to the group, welcome to do that. We're focused on owners. I mean, all of you own as well, so that's great. And we are interviewing Dirk Johnson on Thursday night, 7 p.m., not 8 p.m., 7 p.m. So make sure you register for that. It is a webinar format, so you guys won't be on screen, but you're certainly willing to ask the questions. And we need the questions to keep the conversation rolling.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking COVID, back of the house, how to tell your story, all these fun things. That's Thursday night, the 16th of July at 7 p.m. Eastern time. You can register. We've got the link in the Facebook group. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe and click the bell so that you don't miss a single video that we put up on the channel. And until next time, don't forget to live happy, smile a lot, and a high five everyone around you. See you guys in the
All
group,
right.
huh?
See you guys.
Take care. Have a good night.
Yep.